Gurudev kripa bindu diya koro e dase Trinapekayati dina kripa bindu.
Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 22. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Andakara, Jahan Krishna Tahan Nahi Maya Radhikara. Krishna is compared to sunshine and Maya is compared to darkness. Wherever there is sunshine, there cannot be darkness. As soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, the darkness of illusion, the influence of an external energy, will immediately vanish. Do you read the purports and everything? Just the shlokas.
If there is something that we don't really understand,
then you read. Okay. This is very, very famous shloka, because I remember when I joined Krishna consciousness, that was one shloka that everybody memorized. That was very, very powerful shloka. And we all know, in some level or other, we all know this is true. Even we don't know Krishna personally, but we know the devotees and we know everything the devotees they gave to us. And from positive experience and from negative experience, we understand how powerful is the association of the devotees and the practices they gave to us. Then my main point in life is how to maintain yourself always surrounded by the activities we are so fortunate to have. Then Maya stays a little, this is a very, very sensitive matter, because as soon as you deviate from the position of a servant, Maya is taking charge immediately. And then more you go far from that mentality, more you abstract yourself from the mentality of being a servant and being around with the servants, even in a primary stage, because not always we can stay with strong devotees, but as soon as you... And sometimes I understood, even with Srila Govinda Maharaj, I was there in his veranda, but if my mind flies away with the enjoyer mentality, then you feel darkness coming. You feel all the desires and bad things disturbing. So the mentality of servitor is all important to be under the sunshine or the light of Krishna consciousness. It's not just important, it's imprescindible. How I say that?
Paramount.
Paramount.
Yeah, most important.
Wow, this word is very fine. This is Srila Maharaj's word.
Yeah.
Then I remember when I don't know why, I was suffering so much when I came to Krishna consciousness. I was 20 years old boy. Then much suffering from darkness, because I was living completely darkness, no religion, no spirituality. And I felt much depression, like, I was from a very bad city, very big and violent city, and I always felt. But then when I came, by the mercy of Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, he came to the Western countries and he gave us his disciples, spreading Krishna consciousness. Then most of us in the beginning, we came to the older school, to ISKCON. Then we came to Sri Chaitanya Saraswati. But at that time, I had one idea. As soon as I understood a little bit of the spirituality and how powerful was the congregation how much help we could take from a strong team of devotees, and then I thought that I had to make my life, everything in my life, connected to Krishna consciousness. And that is funny. I have no pride, because I understand now, in a more mature age, that I just desire to have all my life tied by Krishna consciousness. Everything would be in Krishna consciousness. If you get married in Krishna consciousness. If you buy a house, you buy a house like close to the temple. Whatever you do, try to tie your life in Krishna consciousness. That was my desire, because I understood how lost I was, and then how beautiful was life in Krishna consciousness. Then I just wanted to make my life around devotees and temples and service and everything. And then by the mercy of them, it's not in my hands, but I had just the desire to do that, and then my life became a little bit like that. Every time I tried to leave Krishna consciousness, I had someone come and take me up again. Because all my friends, they are from the temples. They are from, they are my god brothers, or, in one way or other, even my family, they all took initiation. Now, they don't want me to do anything that would take me out of Krishna. Because I became their pillar. I became the priest. Then they like it, no, you're not going to do that. You were the priest. I feel my life is perfect. By the mercy of the Vaishnavas, my life became perfect in a sense that everything is, if I travel, I don't come to London to visit, all the places. I just come to London. The only interest is coming to the temple and try to serve the devotees and get their association. If I go to Italy, I'm going to meet Krishna Kant and Munindra Mohan Prabhu. And, all my life is just surrounded by that. They say, in my family, because still I have much contact with family people, they say I'm fanatic. And I'm happy when they say that. Because Srila Maharaj said, we are fanatics for our Guru, for the service, for Mahaprabhu. Not fanatic in the sense we don't accept other ways, other spiritual path, other religions. We accept everybody. We have no problem with anybody. We know that in our line we don't accept Mayavadis.
You mean chaste? Chaste to the Guru and...
Chaste, but Gurudeva used the word fanatic. He, personally I heard him saying, I was just telling that when I was a kid, that I joined Krishna consciousness, I was suffering so much. Then when I got some relief from the practices, from the good association, like a pure environment, no intoxication, it was everything. Everybody was so happy that at that time we had some enthusiasm, like going to the streets and preaching. It was like much fire at that time. Then I felt so much relief that I thought that I had to tie my life, every aspect of my life had to be tied in Krishna consciousness in one way or other. If you get married, you go like Krishna conscious married. Whatever you do, had to be some link or some connection with Krishna and our gurus and the devotees. And now I understand that by their mercy, our guru's mercy, in some way or other it happened in my life. I had nowhere to go anymore. And now I'm growing old, I'm 50, and it's less and less invitation from the other side, from the materialistic people that we used to hang around, like family and friends. It's no one else. Like you see my Facebook friends, they're all devotees, like 98%. And my old friends, now they're finding me in this community. But they are happy to see, and they are participating in what I do. They're like proud. Oh, you did it. Because when I was 20, they thought I was just crazy. My father was like a middle class person, but my grandfather, he left many lands and houses and many things, properties. So my father, he gave when I want to make the ashram, he gave some land for me and for Rohini. At that time, it was 90 to 1. He gave a piece of land for every one of his kids. He gave a piece of land, and we started developing the ashram. Then I went to Navadvip in 96. I met Srila Govinda Maharaj in 94 in Brazil, when he went to Brazil the first time. And I remember Judamani who was there, and Mohanananda from Australia, he was there, Aravinda Lochana, and so many other devotees. But from other countries, I think 3 or 4 or 5. Then in 96, I was a little tired. I was a little, like, my faith was going down. That was funny because we had one guy with us. He was trying to recover from addiction, cocaine addiction. The guy was really, really crazy, but very rich boy. And his psychiatrist told that he was going to die, and the only person who could help him was Rohini, because she heard about Rohini and yoga and all of this, and she told him, you go to her. If she can't help you, nobody can help you. You're gonna die. Then we went to India, and I went together to help. The guy was really crazy. Then Rohini wanted to come to Navadvip, but I was a little tired of congregation and religion and religious society. And I said, no, I'm not going. I'm really tired of this, I want to break. Then the guy, he was so crazy. He turned to me and said, if you don't go to see her guru, I'll drag you by the hair and I will force you to go. And I knew he was going to do that. He was much smaller than me, but he was crazy. And I just said, okay, that way I go. That was my fortune. You see how fortune works? Like a crazy boy. He was at my age, but he told me, you have to go there. If you don't go, I'll take you there, forcefully. Then I went to see Srila Govinda Maharaj, and was my, was the light of my life, because in 94, it was quickly, and I couldn't, I recognized him as like a senior Vaishnava that I bowed down and everything, but not as it was in 96 when I went again. Then it was so beautiful. Then Srila Govinda Maharaj, he accepted me, and I remember everything that I want to talk to him about some things, like personally. Then I told him, I think we were in Kolkata. I want a private meeting with him. Then he closed that door, and just Paramahansa, he was Prasad at that time. Then I started making all my questions, all my doubts. Then I told him everything wrong I was doing. And it was so funny, because everything I said, he said, I know, Prabhu, I know. And how does he know? Because he was so like, I know everything you were doing. But because I put my heart and completely over his table, like, on his table, here what I am, that's what I am. Then immediately a connection came, and I could understand, here is someone that is completely different from everybody I ever seen in my life. That was a powerful, very powerful moment, because like suddenly I could see like a sunshine, like a sun rising. And I understood, here is someone, he's not normal. Normal in the sense he's not a common person. Then I had some connection. He opened, like he accepted me. That's how I understand. It's not my position to recognize him, but he was showing himself that something extraordinary was there. Then he came in again in 98, because I was there telling him, oh, Gurudeva, or Maharaj, I used to call him Maharaj at the time. I had much land, because I had land, and I can give you some land for your mission. Then he never said a word for me. You know his way, like just keep looking to you, and you say something, and Gurudev always looking to me. And I told like a few times, Gurudev, I can give you some land for the mission. Then I was imagining, because we have lots of land, I could give some land for the devotees. I was not engaging myself, I was not like putting myself to take care or to make the mission. I was building an ashram with Rohini, but it was mainly for yoga and business and having guests and making our life, like making money, and that was our idea. But we just, you know, between me and Rohini, we said we give some land for them and they can develop the mission in parallel. Then in 1980 we heard, oh, Gurudev is coming to Brazil. Gurudev is coming here. It was so funny. Like, he decided to go to Brazil and to visit us. But it was not like, from our side, we were a little tripping out. We didn't invite him properly. We didn't know anything. Then he came, and many things, like very beautiful, happened when he was going down the road, in a very bad road, and he told Bhuvan, he was Tapasi Maharaj, he was driving his car, then he told that the whole environment, all the entities from that place, they were praying to him to get Krishna consciousness. That was his first impression, and because it was so far from everything, far from the cities, far from any possibility to get some relief. How they would get that relief. Then they were all praying to him. And the whole environment changed. That was very powerful, because, you know, we could see something very unique was happening there. Then they were told, where do you want to, like one day, like he said, where do you want to give him the land? Can we see? I told many times this, but it's so sweet that I want to repeat. Then we went to the place, it was a little far and near to the forest. Then he said, oh, this is good. This is a good place, but this is for ganja smokers. And he did like Bom Shankara. You know, that's the way they offer ganja. They put some pipe here, they offer like to the Lord, Bom Shankara. Good here, imitating that, Bom Shankara. And I think lots of them around him, they were smoking ganja. They became happy with that. Then Gurudev left. Then he went back to the ashram we were already building and working. And he sat in his chair. That's a very nice place. But I want this ashram. And he did like this with him. I remember perfectly. I was in front of him. It's full of majesty. You say that is right? Full of like...
Yes, majestic.
Yeah, majestic. You know, his ways were very beautiful that he did with his hand. I want this ashram. Then he took over. And Rohini, she started crying.
She started
crying because she thought she lost her ashram. It was so funny. And Gurudev was so, he is like, you know, he's in front of us like thousands. I don't know how many years in front of us, but he was always in front of us. We thought we knew something, he was like ahead, like completely. Then everybody started, you know, planning how it's going to be, you know, how it's going to be. But they were not considering so much myself and Rohini. All the crew, you know, they were like discussing, and Gurudev said, no, you don't worry about this. The ashram is mine, Mahaprabhu will be here, but it's going to be in the name of Rohini, and that time it was Ananda Krishna, and Ananda Krishna. And everybody like, oh, because he knew everything, he knew all the, you know, what's all about, you know, property and whose name is going to be and congregation. He knew, you know, he knew how to protect us and protect the service. Then immediately he said, it's going to be in Ananda Krishna's name and Rohini's name. Then you see, I just desired like my life would be completely in Krishna consciousness. That even my family's property became in some way or other related with Srila Govinda Maharaj. And he used to say, that's my property. That's Mahaprabhu is the, I don't know, he used to say something like, Mahaprabhu is the proprietor, I'm the, you know, he used to say like, this is connected to me, to my service. I lost a little bit of the track, but anyway.
Mahaprabhu came.
Mahaprabhu came before. Mahaprabhu came with, I think Mahaprabhu came with Bhuvana Mohan, Tapasi Maharaj, or Padmanabha Maharaj. I don't know if you remember. Padmanabha Maharaj was a Brazilian sannyasi. Then he left. But at that time he was living as a sannyasi. He was a very enthusiastic preacher. Nice preacher. I think he brought Mahaprabhu from India or Bhuvana Mohan, I don't know. Then Mahaprabhu was being worshipped in one place where Gurudeva came first time. The name was Vargem Grande. It was a small town near São Paulo. But they couldn't keep the program. Then Mahaprabhu started going house to house. And it was very sad because nobody wants to keep Mahaprabhu and worship Mahaprabhu. It was like, okay, he's staying in my house for 2 days. And then kids, like 10 years old kids, like serving biscuits or some chocolate, milkshake, and it was like that, Then Srila Gurudeva was very concerned about where Mahaprabhu would stay. When I offered, I didn't know, but when I offered the land, Gurudeva immediately, that's it. It's going to be Mahaprabhu's place. It was like, then after that I understood, Gurudeva was, then Aravinda Lochana told me personally that Gurudeva was very worried about, because he installed, I remember Gurudeva personally doing the first puja for Mahaprabhu, just Uttariya, beautiful scene, worshipping Mahaprabhu and install, like inviting the Lord. Then he was really worried, it can't be, I just did that, now I need some proper worship, because it's completely, I cannot understand how it is, but we can see that how much worriness was in his mind. It's not something light. You invite the Lord and you don't supply the worship and the offerings. He was really concerned. Then Mahaprabhu was traveling from house to house. Then we, by the mercy of Srila Govinda Maharaj and Sriman Mahaprabhu, the land became Devi property. And it's so sweet because we see the whole environment. We are, I'm not from that area, but I go to that area since I was a kid with my grandfather, with my father. And this is a hillbilly area. And this is, it's completely different. Wherever you have mountain, people from the mountains, they are different. Because the connection with other towns and everything is so, they are like, they live their own world. Everywhere you go, if you go to, any country have mountains, and people living in the mountains, they are different. And this term, I think, is American term, like hillbilly. And if you watch a movie with hillbillies, then I remember my place, they just understand how a hillbilly survives, if they have infection in the tooth nerve, they drop some, in the car they have some oil from the brakes. If you drop in the teeth, you kill the nerve, then stop the pain. So this is a hillbilly recipe. That, they're survivors. And, you could see how much the environment changed with Mahaprabhu and Krishna conscious culture. Some people, they make cheese in their farms and they come for us and say, oh, this is for Mahaprabhu. Everything is pure. you know, like how to make the cheese, everything is for Mahaprabhu. They are coming, you know, more and more because they see something is unique there. And the whole environment is slowly changing. It's beautiful. And I'm just, you know, grateful. I'm just completely grateful that Gurudev engaged me. You know, and it's so much responsibility that I cannot live anymore. Where to live? You know, my house is there. Just, you know, behind the temple is my house. Another day I told my friends, you know, if everything goes wrong, I go to the woods. And then they look at me, Maharaj, you are already in the woods. There's nowhere else to go. That was Lila Sundari, she's my friend, Premananda's wife. I just initiated Jaya, I don't know if you saw on the internet, her dear daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
I told Bhakti Lalita Didi that they come from the same planet. You gonna open the...
Yeah, things that she's got.
Oh, she's got the garland on yet.
Lalita.
Is there any question? You want to ask something?
While you were living your life, you know, preaching, you know, getting deeper into Krishna consciousness,
Getting
deeper in with the reality, how can you see the differences? How your vision was changing, and maybe you can tell a bit more about it, like how your personality is changing.
My understanding is coming from the taste of the heart. The heart has to taste something special. I don't know how deep I went, you know, and I'm still thinking I'm on the surface. But what I can tell you, you know, I couldn't see anything better than comparing to what was being offered in the temples and with the devotees. Even now, you know, I can't see. It's just my Guru's mercy, you know. I haven't, you know, I lost the taste for everything because it's so cruel and so raw and so filthy what's being offered. Okay, I fell many times, I had problems in my life, you know, but this is, I understand, because you are going some way and you have, we call inertia. Inertia means, you know, you have the movements of the body, or the mind was in one direction. How I grew up, how I was educated, and everything in my sanskar is there. And it's very difficult to avoid, you know. Some people are more educated, they have more facilities, and some people are not so educated. So Tamaguna, Rajaguna, and Sattva is always playing there. Then you have more facilities to follow some spiritual rules and regulations and practices. Wasn't my case. Then, you know, but I understood, like, in the environment I had in the temple, was so happy, everything was so beautiful and so happy, that even comparing materially saying, I'm not saying about so, you know, like deep thoughts and feelings, I was just saying, you know, what was presented to me was so much better, like, was a happy life. I don't understand why people, they don't engage immediately in the spiritual practices, because the happiness you extract, it's so like the standard and the quality is completely different, that I never more want to go back. No doubt I went back to do things that previously I was doing, but the taste is bitter, because from the negative side also you get some learning and experience. This is the negative experience is also powerful, because sometimes when you come too young, or even if you're born in Krishna consciousness from Krishna conscious parents, sometimes you get a little bit rebel. Then you say, oh, I don't want anything, you know, I want to live my own life. Then you go, and the fortunate ones, you know, they will taste the bitter taste of materialistic life, enjoying the senses without Krishna. It's not possible without Krishna, but means, you know, you are eluded, you can enjoy. Then it's so much suffering that, you know, the fortunate ones, they will be back. Because, you know, the happiness you have in Krishna. Jai. Then, you know, this is the understanding of the heart. That's how I understand. It's not intellectually. The intellect can take you somewhere, can help you. Like Srila Maharaj used to say. I heard maybe from Tapasi Maharaj or Goswami Maharaj, I can't remember. It's like what you're trying to find is 20 centimeters from where you think it is. Like from the brain to the heart, to the core of your existence. Then the core, you know, your innermost existence, even if you don't realize you are the soul, because this is a very unique qualification. It's not everybody has that qualification. It will come, but it's very rare. Then you're gonna feel internally. Like, that's how I understand. You know, you're gonna feel. It's an approval, internal approval. Oh, I have got something here unique that I don't want to lose. Because when you see people sacrificing themselves, when you see people engaged completely, maybe you can see like older people than you, and you can think, you know, how do they keep going? Like, you know, they are 60, they are 70, or they are 50. How, you know, they started when they were like 17 or 20. It's the inner taste. They don't want to lose that. They're experiencing something, you know. We don't know how deeper they're going. Of course, you know, we all know that some people are going deeper. But everybody who, you know, even if they are satellites, they are in the periphery of Krishna consciousness, they are coming sometimes. And why they are coming? It's not just out of obligation. No, they have some taste. They had some taste to being in touch with, you know, very high souls, very high personalities. They got some taste, and most of them, that I tell you, you know, I'm completely certain or sure about what I'm saying now. Those who stay in Krishna consciousness forever, they sacrificed their lives. They had austerity. I mean, you know, there is some pain in their life. They are doing something. This is not a lazy life, or they are just going with the flow. No, they had something positive. They are inverting. Like, you know, all my friends from the beginning of my spiritual life, those who are still there, they did so much sacrifice for their Guru. They are surrendering, they are giving the energy. And it's not all the time, you know, woohoo, let's go, you know, this is not La La Land. This is a very difficult place to stay. But if you give, it's natural to get some inner taste. And that inner taste is your main guide. Like he's gonna tell you, I mean, yourself is gonna taste that, and you're gonna say, I don't want to lose that taste. And as soon as the negative experience comes to you, when you associate with other section of society, or materialistic people, people who are trying to enjoy the senses and living for the body, even if they are religious, but if it's not connected, you're going to feel there is nothing here. This is just attitude, like a desert. You're going to feel that it's a desert. I have nothing to do. How many times, you know, not lots of times, but sometimes I had that experience that you go to some party, not now anymore, but before, you go to some place. Yeah, now it's like, how can you go? Sometimes I can go, but it's like, you know, but then you take something to drink, like, not alcoholic, then everybody talking, it's just, you know, nonsense. You say, what are you doing here? It's just like, it's like our friend Chaitanya, he used to say, Hare Krishna curse. It's a beautiful curse. You lose taste, but it's not intellectual. This is inside, because I'm not an intellectual person. I'm not a scholar. I just know some things because I'm long time around. But your inner taste will keep you safe. But how to get that inner taste? That's the secret. Means, service. It's all about serving with heart. Then you get some appreciation. Even some things sometimes in our family, sometimes is annoying, because living with people is annoying. I annoy people, people annoy me. This is natural. This is the way it is. But also when you start growing old, this shloka, Tateyanu Kampam Susunikshanano Bhunjanaivatma Kritam Vipakam, is very beautiful shloka. And Srila Maharaj said, then the next line is Rig Vapubi Vidadam Namaste Diveta Jumukti Pade Sadayava. Srila Maharaj says, if you can live in this standard, in this level of instruction, then you are free. It's just a question of time. You are free from the environment, from the clutch of Maya. It's so beautiful shloka. Because those shlokas, if you can give your heart to them, they will raise you up to the point that even the annoyances in the environment, you're going to see the Lord is everywhere. The Lord is giving you whatever you need to purify your heart, the Lord is going to give you. And sometimes annoying you means that's what you need. Because we think we need just sugar. Huh? Everybody wants the sweet medicine. No injection, no bitter, no sour, just sweet. That's the medicine I want. But sometimes the powerful medicine is the harsh way. Sometimes we need some difficult environment. Then Srila Maharaj explained this shloka. If you can understand, this is not just my karma that is coming back to me, because we cannot fight. The bills always comes to the right door. You can't say, no, this is not my bill. No, it's yours. You did something in the past. Now you are collecting happiness, sadness, or mixture. But if you understand, this is not my karma, not just my karma. This is the sweetest mercy of the Lord coming to me. Then everything becomes sweet, because you understand. Maybe you can react, a little bit, but if you can understand immediately, this is the sweetest mercy of the Lord, come in the shape of something that, it's not pleasant for me, but this is the sweetest mercy. This is shloka, Guru Maharaj says, if you can live in that level, you are a very fit candidate for the positive immortality. It's so beautiful, huh? Because we have negative immortality, means we are immortals, but we are living in a negative side. Neutral and positive. Any more questions?
When those trials come to us and something happens, it's like traumatic or horrible or whatever, then what is our focus? What should we, sometimes it's like, what is our test as such? Because we can take it, we have to make it positive, we have to keep our focus on something, isn't it? To actually get through these things, not just stay in that okay, something happened, I'm not going to get upset, but I have to feel something, how to see it in a positive way.
For me, that's how try to manage my life. There are many instructions in the scriptures and from our Guru Varga that helps you to adjust in every moment. Then I always try to fix in the foundation, because I heard from Srila Maharaj and I heard not personally, but I have the classes from Srila Maharaj and from Srila Govinda Maharaj mainly, that if you work in your foundation, everything will come up naturally.
And faith.
Yes, and the instructions, like Gita, always giving some instructions, that they are basic. Like, you have to fight, I can't say in English, but, Sukha, Dukhe, Charitamrita means, you fight just to fight, that's your duty. Then, you think you are going crazy. Just for example, you have much responsibility. Since I came and I met you here in the other temple, so much responsibility. And I'm sure, you're crossing so much difficulties but if you keep your track, light will come. And then you cross all the seasons, sometimes sunshine, sometimes snow, literally. In London, it's literally.
More snow than ever.
Then, if you hear the Shastras instructing you how you have to behave, then naturally deeper realization will come more and more. Because we need some guidance to navigate, because sometimes we go crazy. And another point is I never go to bad. I try always to avoid bad association. So if I'm in a bad position in Brazil, something very bad is happening, then I would think, I go to London and stay with the devotees there. I go to Navadvip, stay with Srila Chaitanya Maharaj, and I will be safe. And this is, if you can handle the situation, just take shelter of some higher Vaishnava, and everything will be alright. Always been like that. When I was in travel, then, then Srila Govinda Maharaj was present. Then I would come to India. I would go to India and stay with him. And we all knew, like, staying with Srila Govinda Maharaj for a few days, all the problems and calls and, storm would go by his influence and power.
Yeah, you could clear any situations.
But I don't feel we are in a different position now. Of course, I miss, my phone calls. You could take the phone and hear his voice, his sweet voice, and talk to him. But I still have much faith in our family, and I don't find anywhere else where I can find my Guru. But I find my Guru here. I can find my Guru in all of you. Then I feel his presence, through my God brothers, God sisters, and senior Vaishnavas and higher Vaishnavas. Now in mission, he has got some hint or some aspect of my Guru.
We're having to search a bit deeper now, isn't it? Now he's gone, which is actually quite nice.
Yes, but also Srila Maharaj says the negative experience is good. Sometimes the tutu, it gives, like, now you walk, like always with the baby, handle the hands, but sometimes you say, now you go. My aunt, she was not walking. Then my grandfather was worried. She was taking too long to start walking. Then a native man, he was working for my grandfather. He said, I know how to make her walking. Then my grandfather said, okay, you try. Then he took a very big piece of metal. It's, those metals they put in roofs and very thin, and silver color. I can't say in English, we call zinco.
Okay. Like actually a flat piece.
Flat piece to put on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And put that metal in the sunshine. Then put my aunt there. Immediately she started walking. Tack, tack, tack. This is a negative way to teach someone, but she learned. So the disappearance of Gurudeva is, It's a very powerful lesson. Then we have to cross this phase. And Srila Maharaj says, you know, that those who can cross, they are very fortunate. So we know also that it's not for everybody. Many people will leave. But those who can keep the flag high. And Srila Maharaj said, you know, for someone that I know, but now I forgot, what we're going to do? And he said, like after your disappearance, what we're going to do? He said, just keep the flag high. He's not expecting us, you know, to be some scholar, pundits, or, you know, maybe some of us, you know, maybe few devotees will be in that level. Like we are seeing Tyagi Maharaj is so highly qualified and learned. But most of us, you know, I belong to the regular people, you know. Then, you know, but he gave me the hint, you know, just keep the flag high. You know, whoever you are, just keep the flag. You know, Mahaprabhu is the highest conception. What Mahaprabhu came to give is the highest. That was Gurudeva's desire. And Gurudeva knew every one of us. When I went to take sannyasi, you know, he told me something very powerful that I thought he could not understand. It was my foolishness. When I arrived in India, he told me to take sannyasi, and I had a dream, and that dream gave me some idea, you know, that I should take sannyasi. I didn't want to take sannyasi. You know, I think just crazy people want to take sannyasi. Then I went to his lotus feet and I bowed down and said, oh, Gurudev, it was very difficult to come here to take sannyas. And he told me, yes, Prabhu, I know. And even more difficult being Brazilian. And I thought Gurudeva didn't know. But he knew even, you know, how hard it is to be Brazilian, and then you were taking sannyas. It's funny, because how Gurudeva knew all the peculiarities of every country. And he knew everything about, you know, the environment. Then he's not expecting we're going to be, you know, he knows what. And I always put myself completely like naked. You know, I am like this, you know. And before he disappeared, I called him and I said, you remember, Gurudev, you promised me you would accept me as I am, because I made him promise. Before getting initiated, I told Gurudev, I want to be initiated, but you need to promise me one thing. He said, what? You have to accept me as I am. Because, you know, I cannot be false. When, you know, you were always cheating people. Okay, little false is necessary, otherwise nobody will take us. Little bit, you know, but not completely like cheating people all the time, you know. It's very bad, you know. How can you live in a congregation all the time cheating people and pretending you are to be what you are not? Then Gurudeva smiled to me. It was in Brazil, and he said, yes, Prabhu, I accept you as you are. Then, you know, a few days before I was feeling he was going to pass away and disappear, and I didn't have passport. I could not go to India at that time, because passports in Brazil was taking too long, to like 3-4 months to be ready. Then I thought I have to call him. Then I called him and said, you remember Gurudev, you promised me? Then, you know, his voice was very, very weak. Then when I like charged, like, you know, his position, immediately he became like a lion. And he said, yes, Maharaj, you don't worry, whatever I will be, something like that, in the future, you're going to be always in my heart. And that was his promise. And Vaishnava Maharaj told me, you know, Shuddha Prabhu, he told me something very unique and beautiful, that Gurudeva will never let you down. He will never abandon you. You know, he's like, you know, the friend you have. He's going to never judge you, or he can correct you, he can chastise you, but he will never leave you.
Maharaj says, even if you turn away from your Guru, he's still around service for you. Even if you don't, somewhere
Yes, and I, you know, in my bad phases, you know, I never felt, you know, rejected by Srila Govinda Maharaj. He was always, sometimes hard, like chastising and correcting you, but I never felt, you know, I'm not, you know, he's like putting me or pushing me away, pushing me away. And Vaishnava Maharaj, he was like that also. He was a good friend of mine. He was so unique. What time you finish the class now? Any more questions? So if I can give some advice, you know, my advice for the young generation, never give up. Never. Never give up. You know, that's, you're gonna feel in your life, in the maturity that, you know, thanks Lord, I never gave up. Because we never know where we're gonna be, you know, trying another life. But if you never give up, you know, this is sacrificing. We all know this is not easy path. I remember Gurudeva saying, he told Bhuvana Mohan Prabhu, you know, Tapasi Maharaj. I like Bhuvana Mohan Prabhu because he was my friend as Bhuvana Mohan. Then he became Tapasi Maharaj, but then Bhuvana Mohan was complaining to Srila Govinda Maharaj about this, about that, and Gurudeva just, you know, when he opened his eyes and said something like, did you think it was going to be easy? Something like, you think it's like it's an easy path, like you just go, no, this is a, and Srila Maharaj also says, like, he also says that, you know, the path has thorns and petals, and you have to learn how to walk when the thorn, the thorn phase is coming. You have to learn how to walk and proceed. You know, stopping is just to get more energy to proceed. And also, you know, how I felt, you know, after some times, you know, it's, Gurudeva told me when I was in Brazil, I don't know why I told him something, but the answer came in another way. And he told me, in the phase you are, it's better to proceed, like don't stop. It means, you know, when you go further, you proceed in your journey back to the supreme reality, you can't stop anymore. You just go crazy in the materialistic society. It's impossible to engage again. So you can become a little disconnected from both sides. Then it's better to stay with the devotees, you know. That's the Hare Krishna curse, or blessing. That's funny that Antaryan says, Hare Krishna. This is the Hare Krishna curse.
Yeah, Maharaj, it's a very interesting case. I have a friend, and we both started to listen to lectures of Guru Maharaj and study philosophy of Vaishnavas. And there was a point where most of the things in the material world became tasteless, but there was in the spiritual life, you still didn't get the taste of the spiritual life. And in this moment, when you are like, you cannot really enjoy those things anymore, and you still haven't received the taste of the spiritual life, you're kind of in a position where you're like lost, you don't really know what is happening.
You are nowhere.
Yeah. And what would you recommend? What in this period of time, what is the best way to, you know, maintain your needs and your
It's not my opinion, it's their opinion. Just proceed with service life. You know, don't look back. It's like crossing an ocean and you swim, then you look at back, there is no more place to go. When you see that, when you see, you can't see the land behind you, but you cannot see the land in front of you. That's our position, it's something similar. Even some people, if they are in front of you, but still some of them, or many of them, cannot see, the land of Krishna. We want to live in Vaikuntha. We want to live in Vrindavan. We are not here because we are religious. No, we understood, there is another place to live in. We want to live with Srila Govinda Maharaj again. We want to be where he is. We want to live with our gurus. We have some expectation. We want to live in this mundane environment. But we understood also that what is all about, it's all about service. Then we have to get to the point where service is more important even than Vrindavan. But some motivation is behind us, is in the background. We have some motivation. To get to the point where you understand that service is all about, then you can go to hell. Or like, we see like, what's his name? He offended Lord Shiva. He offended Parvati and Lord Shiva, and Parvati cursed him. Chitraketu. Then to get his stage, that understanding like hell or heaven is the same, pleasure or pain is the same, it's a very high level. It's a very high level. So he's in a very high position. But till then we need motivation. How you get your inner taste. Whatever positive side you have, favorable, what motivates you? Some people cooking, some people chanting, what is like, get that, like completely embrace. Not just that, we need to do something that sometimes we don't like in temple life. That's natural. Oh, I don't like to cook, but I have to cook because, this is my duty. But some things in life gives you a little more taste. Then whatever is favorable, grab that, full heart. And never get annoyed by devotees, Always be kind with them, independent of their level. Be kind with senior Vaishnavas. Sometimes, senior Vaishnavas, they are senior by age and they are sacrificed, but they don't have, like, as you expect, a perfect behavior. But you don't care for that. You just, they're senior, they have their own problems. This is not my business. And newcomers, try to be kind with the environment. Jivadoya Namaruchi Vaishnava Seva. That's the secret. It's in three lines. This is the secret. Jivadoya Namaruchi Vaishnava Seva. If you can do that, Namaruchi means what we are doing now. This is Namaruchi. We are discussing the scriptures. We are singing to the deity. Sometimes singing the beads. That's our duty. Jivadoya means be kind with all jiva souls. They are all suffering. Every jiva in this stage, everyone, suffering in this mundane environment. Then be kind with them. And if you are like that, and you sacrifice your life, taste will come more and more. Even if you understand, oh, I can't see, I can see like substantially the spiritual kingdom and the transcendental environment, but I can feel there is an inner voice. There is an inner voice that's telling you, and I think all of us, we are not here by accident. The inner voice is telling you why you came to Sri Chaitanya SCSMath and not other mission. Because your inner voice told you, I'm here for me, not for everybody, but for me here, I can find something unique. That's your inner voice. This is not your intellect. Because so many people are, more intelligent than all of us. They have so much brain, but why they cannot touch what is here? Because this is the inner voice. And the inner voice is going to tell you, yes, proceed. Something unique is here. you know, get that taste. That's the inner voice. And the inner voice will be more and more clear if you have this behavior. If you're humble, but not just in gestures. You know, the humility from the soul, understanding that your position, that kind of tolerance, humility, and giving honor to others, this is effective. If it's just gestures, it's not, it's just by the book. You read the book, oh, I have to be humble. Then you are humble. This is something, but you know, the inner voice, when it becomes humble, then you have something effective, and that will create a very sweet environment for you to live in and to practice Krishna consciousness. Once I was with Srila Trivikram Maharaj in his veranda, then he had some trouble with some devotees there, and then the devotee was telling, he said, you know, you have to be tolerant, and then the lady was like screaming her lungs out, like, I am tolerant! And I was like looking, you know, it was so funny, it was like, then he turned to me and, you know, started talking to me. Then I thought I was in trouble. Then he started saying, you know, you were tolerating, but you were tolerating as a law, not with affection. Tolerance means with affection. Then your tolerance will increase more and more when it comes from the heart, not just by the book. You read oh, okay, this is it, then I'll be tolerant, but not from the heart, if it's not coming. That's why, you know, Chaitanya Maharaj gave a beautiful lecture about this subject. That's why, you know, Gurudeva Kripa Bindu Diya means, you know, giving a drop of that tolerance, humility, and the ability to give honor to everybody. From the heart, from my, you know, from the core. That's mercy. When you can do that, that's mercy. You are being blessed. That's why we're singing Gurudeva Kripa Bindu Diya. We want that mercy. We want to be from the heart. Everything we do must come from our innermost existence. And then also you can analyze, Srila Maharaj, he gives us some encouragement. Some people, they have adhikar, qualification for that, and some don't. But those persons who have qualification, they can distinguish, you know, analyzing. And Srila Maharaj always telling us, you know, I'm not the senses, you know, above the senses, the mind and intellect. You can analyze what is the mind, what is the intellect. Then try to search for your inner position and the inner taste. I tell you, you know, sometimes I'm preaching and I'm, you know, doing things, and there is another person, you know, like a witch, like a monster, you know, all the time talking, and, you know, nonsense. And I sometimes, you know, how can you be so crazy? Then you can understand, you know, it's not myself, because I don't want what this fellow is proposing. He's giving me so many suggestions, it's so ugly. And I don't want that. I gave up that, man. Please, give me a break. But it's like, you know, it's so close to you that sometimes you think it's you. Then you fall trapped in you know, the mental fields, inventions, you know, manodharma. All the, you know, all the creativity of the mind, you know, it's so sinful and so, at least mine, you know, I cannot tell you.
And that will be all our life, isn't it?
Huh?
Like, it's not going to go away, is it? It will be all
I hope it's go away sometime.
I've decided I don't think it will go away.
Yes.
But it says in the scripture, in the other ages, the demons live on another planet, and the next age, and then in this age, they're actually in our mind. Like
Yes, and I, you know, I grew up to, you know, I was born to be a demon. And obey, all my mind is nasty ideas. But then you meet the devotees and you start like association. When I'm associated with you all, the good side is being fed. But it's so funny that the bad side doesn't need to be fed. Yeah. As soon as you give a look, like you look to him, immediately he becomes in charge. then you go to hell again, to hellish life.
But that must be helpful for us as well. Like Guru said, the alloy or something instead of good. The alloys, like in the measure we have impurities. Yeah. But that's actually, he said that's very good.
Okay. Dai, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah Yadavaya Mahavaya Krishnaya Namah Gopala Govindara Srimad Sundara Gopala Govindara Chaitanya